Hear that? That's the sound of Bingo the Wonder Dog helping me sniff out the dog of the week, where I pick out the worst things I saw on the internet all week long. My dog of the week prize goes to a guy named MC Armstrong. Never heard of him. Apparently, his bio on Twitter says he wrote such books as The Mysteries of Tabitha and American Delphi. But that's not important right now. What is important is that he wrote quite possibly the most pretentious and see-through walk-away letter of all time. You think Natalie Beisner wrote a pretentious walk-away letter? You haven't seen anything like this. Making matters worse, this letter came out at the end of a week in which Jon Stewart, on The Daily Show, conclusively proved that all the talking points that MAGA has been using to try to get their dear leader reelected are totally, verifiably, and unequivocally false. Guess what? MC Armstrong's walk-away letter makes exactly the same talking points that Jon Stewart debunked on The Daily Show. And since it renders his entire walk-away plea thoroughly ridiculous, I am going to have Microsoft Sam read it. Because I'm too sane to try.
To the Democrats, this is my career suicide note, but it's also a thank you from someone who is done with careerism. I'm a lifelong member of your party, and I'm voting for Donald Trump. Why? It's not just your industrial-scale censorship or your endless wars or the fact that you disenfranchised millions of Kennedy voters through a lawfare. If that were all I had, it would be sufficient, in terms of conscience and rage, but there's more to the story than anger. Your hatred and censorship has taught me to admire Donald Trump and to love my fellow working-class Americans, and for that I thank you. This vote is for all the traumatized people who have been cancelled and banished just for saying no to the establishment. This vote is for the surveyor, the farmer, the HVAC man, the nurse, the hairstylist, the deadhead, the veteran, and my fellow adjunct professors who have told me their stories about being bullied by the Democrats in their friends and family and their colleagues at work. This is for the young black woman in my class last year who, in the day of Kamala Harris's visit to campus, said, "You're going to hate me, Dr. Armstrong, but I'm not going. I'm voting for Donald Trump." Why would she think I would hate her for the way she votes? What has happened to our country? Somehow, Donald Trump has changed my mind. Where I once saw a cartoon white supremacist, warmonger, and narcissist, I now see the man who renegotiated NAFTA and the only president in the 21st century not to start a new war. Where I once saw the Palestinians, I now see a man who has awoken from his slumber and disavowed Dick Cheney, George Bush, and John Bolton, even as my own party embraces these men. Why has the greatest entrepreneur of my generation, Elon Musk, risked his career to side with Trump? Why has the most consequential grassroots environmentalist of my time, Robert F. Kennedy, Jr., sacrificed friends, family, and reputation to side with the Orange Menace? Why has the most courageous peace activist of the 21st century, Tulsi Gabbard, left our party? Because Tulsi, Bobby, and Ellen see what I see. Donald Trump is resilient and he's risking his life to change the fate of our nation. Trump is transforming the Republican Party into the party of peace, free speech, and the working class. He has converted George Bush's billionaire boys club of Big War, Big Ag, and Big Pharma into a party that cares about public health and embraces regenerative agriculture. Now I don't think the GOP is all the way there yet, but they are clearly the party that embraces dissent, and dissent, brave speech, is the fuel for evolution. So, for the first time in my life, I'm voting Republican. In the name of peace in Ukrainian free speech here at home, I'm casting my vote, as a Kennedy Democrat, for Donald Trump.
Okay, for all the registered voters still left in the room after hearing all that, here is a sampling of the kind of agenda that won over MC Armstrong. Here's a sample of Donald Trump's embrace of free speech and dissent.
Mr. Trump saying publicly the FCC should revoke ABC's license over unfounded claims about ABC News allegedly rigging the presidential debate.
Former President Trump says that he will deport students who participate in pro-Palestinian protests.
Donald Trump said that anyone who criticizes the Supreme Court justices should be arrested and jailed.
Donald Trump earlier today said you burn the American flag, you should get a year behind bars.
During the 2024 campaign, Trump has been, quote, venting about the need to punish late-night comedians for their anti-Trump material.
Here's a sample of how Donald Trump honors his commitment to peace.
But if I were the president, I would inform the threatening country, in this case Iran, that if you do anything to harm this person, we are going to blow your largest cities and the country itself to smithereens. We're going to blow it to smithereens. You can't do that.
Here's a clip of Donald Trump on the phone with the world's richest man, Elon Musk, expressing his total, unwavering support for all the working people who are on strike against him.
Well, you're the greatest cutter. I mean, I look at what you do. You walk in and you just say, do you want to quit? They go on strike. I won't mention the name of the company, but they go on strike and you say, that's okay. You're all gone. You're all gone. So every one of you is gone.
And here's a clip of how Donald Trump celebrates those who have to work overtime.
I know a lot about overtime. I'd hated to give overtime. I hated it. I'd get other people, I shouldn't say this, but I'd get other people in, I wouldn't pay. I hated.
In short, Donald Trump is everything MC Armstrong has been brainwashed into thinking he's not. Boy, I can't wait for him to lose on the basis of that alone. Thanks for helping me sniff out the dog of the week, Bingo. I'm Jesse Coffey.